Morning. More about that at 6.
All right. Scott Pelley standing by in New York for the CBS Evening News. We're back right after that. See you then.
Family reunions for American prisoners released by Iran. Also tonight, Michigan's answer to the Flint lead crisis. Is it too little? The Clinton-Sanders race is tightening.
Her campaign says they always knew it would be close.
Yeah, right.
Eagles guitarist Glenn Frey has died. And one man's journey to keep the dream alive.
I want people to be involved with what King was about and his vision.
This is the CBS Evening News with Scott Pelley.
Today's pictures tell the story. Relief and delight on the faces of 3 Americans released from Iranian prison. Tonight, they're being examined at the U.S. military hospital in Landstuhl, Germany. A 4th American decided to stay in Iran, while a 5th, a student, is already back home in Massachusetts. They were freed in a secret deal negotiated at the same time that Iran agreed to suspend its nuclear arms program. Elizabeth Palmer begins our coverage.
It took a year and a half, but today Jason Rezaian was finally reunited with his family, and he says he feels good. The Washington Post Tehran reporter also met his bosses from the paper. Rezaian was arrested in Iran on vague spying charges and jailed in the notorious Evin prison, at times in solitary confinement. He was one of 3 Americans flown to Europe on a Swiss Air Force jet on Sunday night. Though his brother Ali told us until the 11th hour, the family feared Iran would renege on the deal.
They told him lots of things over the course of 18 months, lots of lies. And so until he was there at the airport on the plane, with the Swiss ambassador, they weren't sure.
Also on the base today, Amir Hekmati, a former Marine jailed since 2011, was reunited with his family, including sister Sarah, who'd flown overnight from Detroit, hardly daring to hope he really was free.
I'm in a fog. This is surreal. I am still in disbelief, and honestly, everything just happened so quickly that I don't think it'll hit me until I'm hugging him.
Now, at last, she has. Also freed in the exchange was Christian pastor Saeed Abedini, who was arrested in 2012. There was also a 4th American released, but all we know is his name, Nosratola Khosravi Rusari. That's all even the congressman accompanying the other prisoner's family knew, too.
We were only told that it was his choice to not leave Iran at this time.
In Texas, Bahram Mechanic and Khosrow Afgahi are 2 of the 7 prisoners released from U.S. jails as part of the exchange. All were charged with violating U.S. sanctions against Iran, and now they're free. Most have decided to stay in America. The 3 Americans' newfound freedom is going to require a lot of big adjustments and also catching up in all kinds of small ways. For example, Amir Hekmati's sister told us that when she first talked to him, he didn't even know what a selfie was.
Liz Palmer outside the U.S. Air Base at Landstuhl, Germany. Liz, thanks very much. The nuclear deal also went into effect this weekend. Iran agreed to suspend its program for at least 10 years. Here's Margaret Brennan.
We have now cut off every single path that Iran could have used to build a bomb.
President Obama yesterday hailed the administration's nuclear deal with Iran. It went into effect over the weekend after Iran made good ahead of schedule on its promise to disable key nuclear facilities. It transferred 25,000 pounds of atomic fuel to Russia, mothballed 12,000 centrifuges, which can enrich uranium, and poured concrete into a plutonium reactor, rendering it useless. UN weapons inspectors will now be on the ground watching whether Iran cheats. In exchange, the White House lifted sanctions, allowing Iran access to $100 billion in assets. Iranian businesses are no longer locked out of global markets. Iran's ships are free to sail into foreign ports, and it can buy or sell goods like oil. Today, Tehran issued an order to immediately pump 500,000 additional barrels of oil a day, a move that could further drive down its price in a market already glutted with too much supply.
we recognize that there remain profound differences between the United States and Iran.
But challenges remain. Just last week, the Iranian military detained 10 Navy sailors at gunpoint. Iran is still considered a state sponsor of terrorism. And last fall, it twice illegally tested ballistic missiles, which can carry nuclear warheads. Just after the American prisoners were released Sunday, President Obama unveiled limited sanctions on Iran because of those launches. The White House says the next test will be whether Iran helps to end the war in Syria, a conflict that it fuels with funds and fighters. Scott, at this point, there are no plans to reestablish diplomatic relations with Tehran, and it is not at all clear what will happen when President Obama leaves office.
Margaret Brennan at the White House for us tonight. Margaret, thank you. Tonight, the mayor of Flint, Michigan, is asking for a federal disaster declaration. Lead has contaminated the water in the city of 100,000, and Adriana Diaz is there.
All day, a steady stream of residents received their ration of clean water from the National Guard.
605 is all set.
State troopers with lead tests, filters, and bottles fanned across a city that's parched for clean water.
Okay, thank you. You're welcome.
In April 2014, when Flint tapped into its own river for water, it wasn't properly treated, stripping lead from pipes. After the switch, 10 people died from Legionnaire's disease. Flint doctor Mona Hanna Atisha found that the number of children with high lead in their systems doubled to nearly 70.
You see the results at 5 years of age when they need early intervention services and special education. You see the impact at 10 years when they're having ADHD-like symptoms. And you'll see that impact when they're like 15 years old and they're having trouble with the criminal justice systems.
Elena Richardson says her children started getting sick after the water switch.
What happens after the water and filter is gone? We're still going to have the lead, we're still going to have the pipes, we're still going to have the poison, we're still going to have the disease.
In nearby Detroit, where Flint used to get its water, 90% of homes had less than 2.3 parts per billion of lead in 2014. Researchers say anything above 5 parts per billion is cause for concern. After Flint's water switch, 10% of homes had more than 11 parts per billion. In one house, researchers from Virginia Tech found lead levels of 13,200, more than twice what the EPA considers toxic waste.
Flint has switched back to its original water source, but Governor Rick Snyder says fixing the damaged pipes will cost at least $55 million. So far, federal aid is limited to $5 million.
Adriana Diaz with the emergency water ration there in Flint. Thanks very much, Adriana. 2 weeks till the Iowa caucuses, and as often, the races are narrowing. Trump and Cruz are in a virtual tie. Clinton is only slightly ahead of Sanders. We have 2 reports tonight, and we're going to turn first to Nancy Cordes. Nancy?
Scott, in a heated debate here in South Carolina, Clinton depicted Sanders as a harsh critic of the commander-in-chief, aligning herself closely with a president who's still broadly popular in his own party.
Senator Sanders called him weak, disappointing.
Clinton argued Sanders would upend the president's proudest achievement, Obamacare.
To tear it up and start over again, pushing our country back into that kind of a contentious debate, I think is the wrong direction.
We're not going to tear up the Affordable Care Act. I helped write it. But we are going to move on top of that to a Medicare for all system.
The tension in this once genteel race is a direct result of polls that show a tie in Iowa.
Secretary Clinton seemed to be arguing that she is the rightful heir to President Obama.
There is no heir to anybody. Look, I have supported Barack Obama in his election efforts, his re-election efforts, and almost all of the initiatives he has had out there. He's a friend of mine. But we got to stand up on our own 2 feet.
I'm Major Garrett in Washington. The ongoing feud between Republican frontrunners Donald Trump and Ted Cruz has grown increasingly personal.
He's a nasty guy. Nobody likes him. Nobody in Congress likes him. Nobody likes him anywhere once they get to know him.
Donald seems to be a little rattled. For whatever reason, he is very, very dismayed.
Cruz said being disliked in Washington is a badge of honor.
If you think the problem with Republicans is they haven't made enough deals, they haven't been willing to get along with Democrats enough and give in to Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi enough, then maybe his critique has some force.
At Liberty University, a conservative Christian college, Trump courted the same evangelical voters Cruz has pursued.
2 Corinthians, right? 2 Corinthians 3:17. That's the whole ball game. Where the Spirit of the Lord, right? Where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is liberty. Is that the one? Is that the one you like? I think that's the one you like because I loved it.
The standard Christian citation is 2 Corinthians, not 2 Corinthians. On the stump, Cruz cites scripture much more readily and easily than Trump. Even so, Scott, Trump runs competitively with Cruz among evangelical Christians in Iowa.
Major Garrett covering the campaign. Major, thank you. Well, today, British lawmakers debated whether Trump should be banned from Britain. There's a law there against hate speech, and 500,000 Britons signed a petition condemning Trump after he proposed banning Muslims from entering the U.S. Here's Mark Phillips.
Donald Trump has long been seen as a brash American curiosity in Britain, even back when he was promising to invest millions in Scottish golf resorts. Then his critics included Michael Forbes, who was refusing to sell the great dealmaker his farm.
What are you prepared to tell him? He's fired.
But not as fired as he would be by the petition which called for him to be banned from Britain.
Unacceptable behavior.
And that triggered this debate in a parliamentary committee, which asked one essential question.
Is this the kind of man that we want in our country? His words are not comical. His words are not funny. His words are poisonous.
His policy to close borders, if he is elected as president, is bonkers.
Donald Trump is free to be a fool, but he's not free to be a dangerous fool in Britain.
But should the response be to ban him or to invite him to come?
I'd take him to the synagogue. I'd take him to a church. I'd take him to the mosque. I'd invite him for a curry.
Again, right?
Donald Trump has done in Britain what he's done at home, become the news. And there's another worry, that Donald Trump could one day be landing in Britain on Air Force One, and that this debate could help his cause. Paul Flynn led the arguments.
Yes, of course.
That we shouldn't give him the privilege of being banned. We don't want to see him emerge with a halo of victimhood on his head and say, "This is what these Brits have done to me," you know.
In the end, Scott, the Brits did nothing. The committee has no powers to ban anybody. But Donald Trump has received another invitation from the leader of the main opposition party here, who's asked him to come to his electoral district, visit a mosque, and meet his wife, who's Mexican.
Mark Phillips reporting tonight from the Houses of Parliament. Mark, thank you. In health news tonight, there is a growing outbreak of a mosquito-borne virus that is linked to birth defects. Travel warnings are going up, and last week, the first U.S. case of a baby infected in the womb was reported in Hawaii. Dr. John LaPook has more.
Christine Arce-Yee was looking forward to one last getaway before the birth of her first child. Then she heard about the danger Zika virus might pose to pregnant women.
I read an article about Zika spreading into the Caribbean. So I was like, oh my God, is it in Aruba? Because I can't take that risk.
The CDC is advising pregnant women to avoid travel to 14 countries and territories in Latin America and the Caribbean, including Puerto Rico, Mexico, and Haiti. Dr. Nikos Vasilikis is a virologist at the University of Texas Medical Branch.
We do not need to scare people, but we need to be able to educate them to be able for themselves to make rational decisions.
The mosquito-borne illness has been linked to a condition called microcephaly, an abnormally small head and underdeveloped brain at birth. In 2015, as Zika infection spiked in Brazil, more than 3,500 women there had babies born with the condition. That's compared with a previous average of 163 a year.
The Zika infection's gone from Asia, Africa to South America, and it's only a matter of time, it seems, before it makes its way up to North America.
You are correct on this. This is a consequence of the jet age. This is life in the 21st century.
Zika symptoms include fever, rash, and joint pain, and usually resolve within a week or so. There's no vaccine and no specific antiviral medication. So Brazilian officials are focusing on eradicating mosquitoes and educating the public on how to prevent mosquito bites.
And want to point out the infection in Hawaii was in a woman who had traveled from Brazil. Dr. John LaPook, thanks very much. A lack of diversity has led to an Oscar boycott. And we'll remember Glenn Fry, co-founder of the Eagles, when the CBS Evening News continues.
Morning, Ted. Scott. Ready to hit some balls? Hey, buddy, what's up?
This is what it can be like to have shingles.
Oh, man.
A painful, blistering rash. If you had chickenpox, the shingles virus is already inside you. 1 in 3 people will get shingles in their lifetime.
After almost 3 weeks, I just really wanted to give it a shot. You know, I'm not feeling it today.
Talk to your doctor or pharmacist today about a vaccine that can help prevent shingles.
If you could see your cough,
it's just a cough.
You'd see how often you cough all day, and so would everyone else. New Robitussin 12 Hour delivers fast, powerful cough relief that lasts up to 12 hours. New Robitussin 12 Hour cough relief, because it's never just a cough.
They say when Mr. Clean saw all the different things his new smartphone does, it reminded him of his magic eraser. It's not just for marks on walls. It's tough on kitchen grease and bathroom grime, too. He's your all-around tough cleaner, Mr. Clean.
Now that we've added adjustable base, my favorite part is to be able to lift your legs up a little bit, and it feels like I'm just cradled.
At Mattress Firm, get 0% APR financing.
And there you have it.
Visit Mattress Firm, America's #1 Tempur-Pedic retailer today.
I'm here at my house on Thanksgiving Day, and I have a massive heart attack right in my driveway. The doctor put me on a bare aspirin regimen.
Be sure to talk to your doctor before you begin an aspirin regimen.
Go talk to your doctor. You're not indestructible anymore.
Some important names in Hollywood said that they are boycotting the Oscars today because none of the 20 nominated actors is African American. Maria Villarreal has that.
I will not be at the Academy Awards, and I won't be watching.
Actress and director Jada Pinkett Smith says she intentionally chose to announce her boycott of the Oscars on Martin Luther King's birthday.
Begging for acknowledgement or even asking diminishes dignity and diminishes power. And we are a dignified people.
Pinkett Smith is part of a growing outcry in Hollywood against the Academy's decision not to nominate any actors of color this year, despite a number of critically acclaimed performances by African American actors. Today, director Spike Lee said he would join the boycott, posting on Instagram saying, "I would like the media to ask all the white nominees and studio heads how they feel about another all-white ballot." Academy President Cheryl Boone Isaacs.
I hope this isn't discouraging for anybody, and for filmmakers in particular.
Oscar nominees are chosen by a 6,200-member voting body, 94% of whom are white male and a median age of 62. Urban and pop culture professor Todd Boyd says the Oscar nominations are a symptom of a bigger problem.
There's only a small number of people in Hollywood who can say yes. Until the people in Hollywood who can say yes are more reflective of the population as a whole, this is not going to change.
Straight Out of Compton producer Ice Cube gave his take to The Daily Show.
You know, we didn't make that movie for the Oscars. We made that movie for the people.
And the people loved it.
The people loved it.
Scott, the Academy says they are looking to be more diverse, inviting 300 new members of color to their ranks, although that number is a small fraction of the 6,000-plus voting body they already currently have.
Maria, thanks. And we'll be right back.
I have asthma, one of many pieces in my life.
So when my asthma symptoms kept coming back on my long-term control medicine, I talked to my doctor and found a missing piece in my asthma treatment.
Once daily Brio prevents asthma symptoms. Brio's for adults with asthma not well controlled on a long-term asthma control medicine, like an inhaled corticosteroid. Brio won't replace a rescue inhaler for sudden breathing problems. Brio opens up airways to help improve breathing for a full 24 hours. Brio contains a type of medicine that increases the risk of death from asthma problems and may increase the risk of hospitalization in children and adolescents. Brio is not for people whose asthma is well controlled on a long-term asthma control medicine, like an inhaled corticosteroid. Once your asthma is well controlled, your doctor will decide if you can stop Brio and prescribe a different asthma control medicine, like an inhaled corticosteroid. Do not take Brio more than prescribed. See your doctor if your asthma does not improve or gets worse.
Ask your doctor if 24-hour Brio could be a missing piece for you. See if you're eligible for 12 months free at mybrio.com.
Today, people are coming out to the nation's capital to support an important cause that could change the way you live for years to come. How can you help? By giving a little more to yourself.
I'm running for my future.
People sometimes forget to help themselves.
The cause is retirement. And today, thousands of people came to the Race for Retirement and pledged to save an additional 1% of their income. If we all do that, we can all win.
Prudential, bring your challenges.
We stop arthritis pain so you don't have to stop, because you believe in Go. Onward. Today's the day. Carpe diem. Tylenol 8-hour arthritis pain has 2 layers of pain relief. The first is fast. The second lasts all day. We give you your day back. What you do with it is up to you. Tylenol.
You've upgraded all your old technology, so what about this? It's time to get into the new with Ford. New is EcoBoost technology. New is a foot-activated liftgate. New is tougher, stronger, and lighter. New is Ford, America's best-selling brand. Now, get into a new Focus, Fusion, or Escape with 0% financing for 60 months plus $2,000 trade assist cash. Only at your local Ford dealer.
No matter what time it is or wherever you are, your Toyota dealers are always open at buyatoyota.com. Now, during Toyota's Anytime Anywhere event, you can lease this stylish new 2016 Toyota Corolla for just $159 a month. Or let the adventures begin with the new restyled 2016 RAV4 and get 0% financing. So visit here and then come in here for the new Toyota you've always wanted. Toyota, let's go places.
Late today, we learned the co-founder of the Eagles, guitarist Glenn Frey, has died after a long battle with an intestinal illness. His hits include Hotel California, Life in the Fast Lane, and this.
You can't hide your lying eyes.
Frey helped the Eagles soar, one of the world's best-selling bands with 150 million albums before the Eagles broke up in 1980. Frey then turned to acting, notably appearing in Miami Vice.
Well, he's going to jail without us.
He also began a solo career. In 1994, the Eagles reunited with their album Hell Freezes Over. Glenn Frey was 67.
Take it easy.
Martin Luther King had a dream that will never die, thanks to some of the people you're about to meet when we come back.
This portion of the CBS Evening News is sponsored by Voya Financial, changing the way you think of retirement.
What's going on here?
I'm Val, the orange money retirement squirrel from Voya. We're putting away acorns, to show the importance of saving for the future.
So you're sort of like a spokesperson.
More of a spokes metaphor.
Get organized at Voya.com. When you're living with diabetes, steady is exciting. Only Glucerna has Carb Steady, clinically proven to help minimize blood sugar spikes, so you stay steady ahead.
The biggest challenge for business today is not competition.
it's protecting customer trust.
Every day you read headlines about governments and businesses being hacked, emails compromised, and intellectual property being stolen. That is cybercrime, and it affects each and every one of us. Microsoft created the Digital Crimes Unit to investigate and fight cybercrime. We use the Microsoft Cloud to visualize information so we can track down the criminals. Using our advanced analytics tools, analysis that used to take days to run, we can now see in real time. And we're building what we learn back into the cloud to make people and organizations safer.
When it comes to the cloud, trust and security are paramount.
Our passion is making life tougher for cyber criminals and making it safer for you and your customers.
See this big guy? A machinist for 30 years. That's how he got the ringing in his ears.
Thought I had to live with it. Bothered me a lot.
Until I got him lipoflavonoid, #1 doctor recommended.
Lipoflavonoid has really helped me.
Lipoflavonoid, #1 doctor recommended.
Can I do Pop-Pop?
Happy birthday!
I just had a heart attack, and now I have a choice. For her, for them, and him. A choice to take Brilinta, a prescription for people who have been hospitalized for a heart attack. I take Brilinta with a baby aspirin, no more than 100 milligrams, as it affects how well it works. It's such an important thing to do to help protect against another heart attack. Brilinta worked better than Plavix, and even reduced the chances of dying from another one.
Don't stop taking Brilinta without talking to your doctor, since stopping it too soon increases your risk of clots in your stent, heart attack, stroke, and even death. Brilinta may cause bruising or bleeding more easily, or serious, sometimes fatal bleeding. Don't take Brilinta if you have bleeding, like stomach ulcers, a history of bleeding in the brain, or severe liver problems. Tell your doctor about bleeding, new or unexpected shortness of breath, any planned surgery, and all medicines you take.
I will take Brilinta today, tomorrow, and every day for as long as my doctor tells me. Don't miss a day of Brilinta.
Zantac heartburn alert! Stop! Nexium can take 24 hours to work. Zantac's different. Zantac rushes relief in as little as 30 minutes. For relief without the wait, try Zantac. No pill relieves heartburn faster.
Arctic air is here. Temps dipping to the single digits tonight. That means the Cold Patrol is activated, making sure everyone's safe and warm. Details of the plan next at 6.
For many, this was a day of public service in memory of Martin Luther King Jr. Someone who knew Dr. King very well is determined to keep his dream alive. Here's Mark Strassman.
So over to your right here is the Martin Luther King Center for Nonviolence.
You want Tom Houck to give this weekly civil rights tour in Atlanta.
The birthplace of Martin Luther King.
Now 68, he once drove for a king, the leader of the movement.
We would drive in here as the kids would be upstairs waiting for him to come home, jump all over him and say, "Daddy, Daddy, Daddy."
In 1966, Houck, a 19-year-old civil rights volunteer, admired the King family. By chance one day, he met them at lunch.
It was really Coretta that made me the accidental driver.
He told us the story inside Ebenezer Baptist, the King family church.
She said that she had a driver that was taking the kids to school, but that he just wasn't working out, and could I drive the kids to school? I said, I would be delighted to do that. So she didn't even ask me if I had my license. I mean, this is a white kid, okay? We're talking about 1966, driving 4 black kids around Atlanta.
Dr. King later lobbied to keep Houck in the movement and out of Vietnam. Houck gave us a private tour.
But Dr. King's office was a beehive of activity. He was a chain smoker. He smoked 2 packs of cigarettes a day, which Coretta hated. He was a great pool player. And he'd have a beer and belt one down, and then he'd show us tricks that he learned along the way. He was a very kind and very gentle person. Coretta got the first word that King had died.
Houck has a dream to keep this history alive.
I want people to be involved with what King was about and his vision 365 days a year. This is where Martin went to elementary school.
Behind the wheel, he had a front seat on history. Mark Strassman, CBS News, Atlanta.
And that's the CBS Evening News for tonight. For all of us at CBS News all around the world, good night.
From your news and information leader, this is News Channel 5 at 6.
Well, bundle up, folks. The mercury is falling.
And could snow be in the forecast? We join Ron Howes to tell us what's going on.
Yes, yes on both counts.
Okay.
All right. It is a cold night out there. 21 right now. Going to be in the single digits. Let's take a look at the impact of this wintry week that we're going to see. First of all, we're beginning tonight. We're going to see single-digit temperatures overnight. Not the wind chill, but the actual temperature in the single digits. I think 1 to 3 inches of snow, sleet, possible Wednesday morning in some areas. Maybe a little freezing rain and rain mixed in too. That's definitely going to create travel problems in parts of our area for Wednesday morning. The ground's going to be very cold, and another snow system could affect